Hi everyone! So as promised, I have come back to talk about experiential learning and who can benefit from it and sort of what it is. So basically, the world is your classroom. And experiential learning is just when you're learning through experience. So that is why we always talk about how it is a great complement to high school, college, university classes, things like that, because you have a foundation that you have that you've learned in a classroom, and then you're able to learn. You're able to use those skills when traveling, when volunteering with animals. But you're also able to like unlearn some things if they don't really make sense anymore, or change a couple ideas that you might have had, especially if you are learning from textbooks and haven't done a lot of lab work, a lot of practicums, co-ops, things like that. It is great because you have this foundation of a textbook, which is the perfect case scenario. And then you go to sort of like the real world and you say, this is, for example, this is how a cat should always be spayed. And then you go to somewhere like Sierra Leone and you say, okay, if the textbook gives us the very perfect example of spaying a cat, what does it look like here? What does it look like if there are power cuts where you are? If you are in Nepal and there's not access to sterilized equipment, how do you sterilize it? What do things look like? How do you make it as perfect as possible? But experiential learning is not just for vet med students or vet techs and nurses or biology students. It's for everyone because volunteering is not in a bubble. Volunteering with animals is also not in a bubble. While you are working with animals in some respect on the AEI programs, you're not only working with animals. You're working with people from around the world, and you're working in local communities. So one of the things that you're always going to learn is conflict resolution, not revolution, but conflict resolution and communication. Conflict because you are living with people from all over the world that have different times to go to bed and different things they want to eat and different ideas about their trip. So just learn how to talk to people, and communication, of course. You are living in community with people that you've never met yet. And how does it work to communicate with them? Communicate with your family and make sure you have the best trip, and the animals, of course, are humanely taken care of. So we are Animal Experience International. All the programs have some form of volunteering with animals, like I said. So it can be that you are a vet tech and you're going to spay and neuter program in Nepal. Or it could be that you are an artist and you love elephants and you are going to do husbandry, feeding, cleaning, enrichment in Thailand. Or it could be that you are a poli-sci law major and you're interested in how Malawi is directly working with the government right now to change the laws behind animal trafficking and poaching and things like that. So it's anywhere on the spectrum of liking animals. You're always working with them, but what you are taking out of the experience is going to change based on the experience that you're interested in and based on what you've done in the past. We always say that the volunteering that you do, we're able to change up based on your experiences, but if you have picked up after a dog, you can pick up after an elephant. There is just more of it there. And since they're herbivores, it's like a bit less dirty, so that's nice. But when you are volunteering for experiential learning purposes, you can either talk to your professors or your lecturers about getting co-op credits, placement credits. You can even get experiential learning credits, or you can use these programs to bolster your resume, to just give you more real world experience and to set you apart from the super saturated job market. Lots and lots of people have college and university degrees, and how do you make it, how do you show off yourself a little bit more? Volunteering is a great way to do that, and it's a great way to show your potential employer that, yeah, you learned in a textbook, and yes, you do know textbook best case scenarios, but then you were able to change those around and see how things look sort of in the real world, and in best and sometimes worst case scenarios. So I made a list that I'm looking at on my computer of all the different ways, or all the different programs that could benefit from experiential learning. And as it turns out, obviously it's all of them. But like I said before, it doesn't have to be biology or just biology and just vet med students that are benefiting from volunteering with animals, because you could learn about microloans or public health and public policy, fundraising, which is so important in so many programs or experiences that we run. Fundraising is a huge part of what they do. So if you wanted to learn more about fundraising, learn more about the communication that a charity has to put out, or newsletters or things like that, they need volunteers to help with that, and they need most of them need volunteers to help with that, and need volunteers to learn to not only help other centers but to help them as well. Like administration, super important, and you're learning tons when you go to an animal center that is run by people that love animals like you do, but maybe don't have a massive background in or formal background in administration, public policy, things like that. You can help and learn and see sometimes how easy certain changes are and how not easy certain changes are. Changing up templates in newsletters can be really helpful. Sorry, my arm is getting real tired. Changing up newsletters can be really helpful and really easy. Petitioning the government to give a center more money because they're helping the dogs in the area may not be as easy as you want it to be. But without being there, without helping, without seeing the process and that experiential learning, you may not know that, and you may take for granted how easy things are back in your home, where you know people, where you have a community, and you know the customs and laws and things like that. So much of learning while traveling is understanding your privilege of where you come from, but also your comfort where you come from. You might take for granted how easy getting water is where you are, or you have an idea that you kind of know how easy it is, but until you live in a clinic, or you work in a clinic and you live in an area that you have to walk water into a clinic, it isn't real until it's really real. We also talk about like women's studies and international public education programs and studies like that. People who are interested in the international relations that go along with tourism programs or international volunteering programs, and the safety and the authenticity behind that, and programs that are working directly with marginalized people, women, children, and programs that are working with co-ops and microloans and peer-to-peer loans. Just understanding more of that. Experiential learning is exactly what it sounds like. It is learning through experience, and it is building on the foundations that you've already, you've read in textbooks, and you've seen in lectures, and you've done in probably small scale in your community, but now it's looking at the bigger world. Every day is a school day, and every day you're going to learn something new. Sometimes it will be awesome, and you will go, oh my gosh, I learned so much, and it's great. Other times you'll go, oh, I did not want to learn that. That makes me real sad. Now I'm responsible for telling other people about a good or bad or something thing. But that is why I love our program so much, because every day you are going to learn a little bit more about the animals you're working with, about the people you're working with, the geography, history, politics, everything in between. So if you are interested in learning more about experiential learning, what you can learn, things like that, send us a message or send me an email, Nora, Nora, @animalei.com, or you can check out our website, because we do talk a lot about experiential learning, so you can read on your own. But we also have the program separated into like fun and serious. And just because you're watching, I'll give you a secret. All of them are under all of those. Because there's always serious things that you can take away and you can learn, and serious ways that you are helping these ethical and safe and authentic programs. But there is always fun to be had. That is why we do things. Even in really dire programs that we need people to help dogs in Nepal. We need people to help sea turtles in Costa Rica. We need people to help. We desperately need volunteers this summer to help dolphins in Croatia. Even though these are really important, we're working with critically endangered species. We're working with animals that are suffering. There still is fun along the way because we're humans, and it's nice to connect with other people and meet kindred spirits and say, okay, we're working through this, and we're working through it, and we're going to use some humor, and we're going to have an amazing time. It is tourism. We're going to do some things on the side and have some extras to make it serious and helpful, and you're helping these animals, and you are helping yourself, and you are learning through experience, but you're also having quite often the amazing time of your life, and like a lifetime of memories and magical experiences. So that is experiential learning, plus everything else. Like I said before, if you have any questions, shoot us an email, write a comment, like a comment here or a comment there or there. I don't know how it's all played out on Facebook. You can also send us an email or a message through Facebook. That's why we're here. We've had 650, just over that, volunteers go away and come back safely. And I think all of them would tell you that they learned every single day at their programs, and so experiential learning is very real and something that they would recommend. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later. Bye.